Oh God, sorry.
That's okay.
The fact that another human being could do something like this to someone because of the color of their skin. I mean, when I watched that video, and I was in the military, I've seen people get their brains blown out, all kinds of stuff. That is single-handedly the worst thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. And the fact that he was only 18 years old. 18 years old. So that means that it's still being taught. It's alive and well. Meanwhile, you got governors all over the country, Virginia's included, trying to, dictate what's being taught about our history in the schools. Is this going to be in our history books? This is single-handedly the worst single killing of black people since Tulsa. Is this going to be in the books? Are they going to try to whitewash this too? This is just devastating, man. This is, there's no words. There's no words. That the fact that someone could do this to someone specifically because of the color of their skin. My mother was murdered. I wouldn't do this to the person who did it and their family. And I know what they are capable of. I know what type of person he was. You did this and had no knowledge of any of these people.
Big on you.
It's just unspeakable, man. It's just unspeakable. And it just shows that while the powers that be try to convince us that black people are the ones that are causing the divide, no, we're just trying to get our footing. We're just trying to get our footing. And then as soon as we start to get our footing, look what happens.
See, right here's a good spot.
Oh, what you move with?
We see these people coming to support the family. This past week, people have been supported.
They didn't choke him. That's what kills me. That's what made me that much more angry. The fact that they handled him with care. And he had nigger written on the front of his gun. He filmed what he had just done. And you handled him with care. But yet, if I pull my wallet out during a traffic stop, you'll shoot me and you'll kill me. So that's when we say Black Lives Matter. That's what we mean right there. When we do a crime, take us to jail like you did this man. Don't put a knee in our neck. But yeah, that's what bothered me more than anything. Even what he did was horrific, but the fact that he was handled with care by the police afterwards, that's unspeakable, man. And you can't say he killed one of your own. He killed one of your. Oh, but wait a minute, that guy was black. The retired officer who was a security guard. Hey, I thought thin blue line. I thought y'all supposed to protect each other, right? Well, he was a cop for what, 30 years? Not saying that I want cops out here creating vengeance or being judge, jury, and executioner, but that's what they are in the black neighborhood. That's what they are in the black neighborhood. So we expect something.
Another thing too is that they knew that he was going to do it.
Oh, they had warning of stuff that he said before, that he was going to shoot up a graduation ceremony and stuff.
I'm from Richmond, but I know they know what stuff is happening. They know what stuff is going on. They knew that kid.
He reconned this whole area out. He knew everything. If you look at the manifesto, he knew everything. He knew where the security guard was going to be at. Everything. He knew the order in which he was going to start popping people. Everything, man. And the fact that he had body armor on. I mean, yeah, this was premeditated. But the fact that he pled not guilty. How? How in the white privilege can that even be an option for you? Sir, shut up. We got the video right here. We got your manifesto. Go, shut up. Sit down. You know, but he planned not. But see, that's the. There's no link to the privilege. You know, you really think that you can do something like that? And hey, who's to say he won't get away with it? Remember the affluent kid? He raped that girl, and then the judge only gave him 6 months probation because, Yeah, because he didn't want to ruin that young man's future. But yet you have no problem giving a black man serious time for weed. He raped somebody, but affluenza or affluent syndrome, he didn't know no better. That's all. When we say Black Lives Matter, that's what we mean. That's what we mean. A lawyer shouldn't be able to get you off because you're white. You do the same crime, do the same damn time. That's all we want. And again, I don't know if New York has the death penalty, but he should get it. If justice had its way, he should have never made it to the police station. He should have never made it to the police station. He should have never made it to the police station. And
I started it, and I said nope.
Maybe it might open up New York to rethink their gun laws. Because imagine if just one person would have been armed other than a security guard. Maybe there would have been only 8 people, or 6 people, or 2 people dead. I mean, hello, you see how I carry in Virginia, right? I've never been attacked. But it's crazy though, because doesn't New York have the strictest gun laws? Isn't this New York, where you just had a mass murder with a gun? A long rifle, assault rifle, what they like to call it, right? Make it make sense. It's strict, because criminals don't read laws. They don't read city ordinances. They don't care. They don't care. So by making it to where no one else can have a gun, you're literally causing us to become defenseless to something like that. I walk in Walmart the same way y'all see me protest. I got a gun here, one here, and one on my ankle. People look at me like I'm crazy. How they gonna look at me now? Am I crazy, or was I being prepared? Because I saw it. I'm 49 years old. Stuff like this doesn't surprise me. What does surprise me is the fact that he was 18 years old, that it's still being taught, That's what was surprising to me.
And let's not forget to mention that he is a grown man.
Yep.
He was a grown man. While some of the media, the news stations is portraying that he's a child.
Yeah, no. 18?
But Tamir Rice playing in a park at 12 years old, they labeled him as a grown man. As a grown man playing with a BB gun in a park. It ended his life within 10 seconds.
Didn't even give him a chance. This dude, they gave a whole bunch of chances.
This guy came out unscathed, unharmed, not shot at all, and was able to. He's still alive right now.
You know what it reminds you of?
It's ridiculous.
Dylan Roof.
It's devastating.
Dylan Roof. They put body armor on Dylan Roof, brought him to the police station, and then the police chief went and got him Burger King because he said he hadn't eaten in 2 days. Is that? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's privilege, like hell. So when we say Black Lives Matter, that's what we mean. Not that we matter more than, that when we do a crime, treat us the same way. Treat us the same way. If you're gonna get everybody Burger King, get all of us Burger King. But we know that's not gonna happen.
It actually reminds me of a Kyle Rittenhouse situation again. You know what I mean?
He walked right past the police.
Yeah, he walked right past the police with his AR-15 in his hand, crossed state lines, and murdered people.
Don't put me on this. When is he going to be released to the general population?
It should have happened immediately.
30 years.
Should have put him on since he came to an all-black neighborhood to commit this crime, it's only right that you put him in an all-black gen population.
That way.
It's only right. It's only right.
That's fine.
Send him over to the nation. Send him to the nation. The brothers are handling him. Trust.
But we're spending all that money on him.
We're spending all our money on police brutality still too. You know, the system needs to be dismantled all the way. We could begin with the Constitution that was never meant for the people of color and black and brown people in general. So this has to be dismantled, revamped,
And to
discombobulated.
to piggyback on what he's saying with that,
this is not right.
If it was
the cops that were bad, then you'd only have a couple here and there, not throughout the country. So clearly it's the training. It's the training. It has to be the training. It's happening all over the United States. What's the only thing uniform about that? The training. And don't get me started on who trains police. Israelis. Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that.
Peace and love to you.
They don't train them to take prisoners.
Well, enough is enough, man, and it always has been enough, man. And if you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything. This is truly what community looks like right here, what you see in Buffalo right now. This should be happening worldwide, nationwide, on a day-to-day basis. This is how we continue to spread love instead of hate. It's too much hate in this world. Guns down, love up. You know what I mean? I'm not saying take away anybody's Second Amendment, but you know, again, it goes hand in hand. If you're a bad cop and you see it, or if you're a good cop and you see a bad cop doing something wrong, guess what that makes you? A bad cop. If you're a gun owner and you know that these people are out here toting guns, killing people, crossing state lines with it, well, say something. You know, you see something, say something, do something about it, so we can prevent this from happening again.
Because the people that are killing now, especially in the Richmond and Petersburg area down where we're at, between 15 and 23 years old. They can't even buy guns.
I mean, my only thoughts with this is something you can't really put into words. Enough has been enough. And I feel like this is Ahmaud Arbery times 10. You know, he purposely came here. You know, even in their case, you may have gave them, you know, the sick benefit of the doubt of something. But this, he specifically came here from 3 hours away. If you're not outraged, you're definitely not paying attention. People who are organizing in 2020 need to come back out of their shells. People who were, you know, supposed to be fighting for the righteous cause. This is what we were talking about. There is so much Black lives that have been mattering since we've known you, since, you know, we met you in 2020, since I met Pops in July 2020. And here we are 2 years later in May, again, a few weeks prior to George Floyd's 2 years, and we have a full-blown hate crime, and the world needs hugs, but we came here to let them know that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, and we're going to stand everywhere. There's no state bound, there's no city bound. Anywhere it happens, we'll be. And we need people mobilizing everywhere. There needs to be mobilization in every city in the United States. There needs to be mobilization in every state. Because like I said, in 2020, I guess people had more time because of Corona. I guess people had more money from the stimulus, but that's the same stuff is still happening. And this is a hotbed that's happening. And if you're not paying more attention to it, then, you know, and the answer is not gun control. Because if y'all put more control on law-abiding citizens, then they're going to be the ones that are victim of this. We're going to be teaching gun safety. BLM 757, our 6-year anniversary is on July the 10th. We're going to be rolling out gun safety classes. We're going to have another Get the Strap rally where we're going to be teaching gun safety classes starting in July, where we have to arm ourselves properly. Just like Taekwondo, boxing, or any type of self-defense, know the power of what you have. You don't go into a dojo and see a lot of people beating each other up. No, you see them knowing what the power of something is, harvesting that and using it to white supremacists, using it to road cops, using it to rapists, to murderers, to molesters, to the right people. Until we can rid the neighborhood of them, you know, we got to take care of home all around. So we're here to protect here. We protect home. We see what we do home, and you know, our hearts can just go out. We can be here physically to see here what we can do for these families personally. So that's why we're here today. We're here to make sure that, you know, we can get in contact with anybody we can to offer our services, but also offer our love and affection.
This is a program that talks about community building. I saw you have this Black Lives Matter flag.
They need to immediately make the KKK and white supremacy, you know, hate groups just like they do Al Qaeda or any type of Muslim or any type of groups like that. And they need to do it expeditiously because it's been going on forever. They're still having these meetings, and they need to have. We need to know who has these ties to these supremacist groups, especially if they hold positions of power.
The white communities, and so it's I was going to say, why was it important to you as a Virginian to come out for a situation that happened here?
It's not a Virginia thing. It's just I'm originally from Pittsburgh. Just like I said, injustice anywhere is a threat to injustice everywhere. So you have to come out from anywhere, and it's just this is a stand against white supremacy.
This is family
Everywhere in the United States, and if we don't stand up for our own, then who else will?
He said he wanted to kill as many blacks as possible, survive, and spread the word, and that's exactly what he did. There is no way you could tell me this man modified his weapon, went back here and got armor, modified his helmet, right? Had detailed battle plans of what to happen, and his father was clueless. Plus the fact that he went out here and had a Discord server 30 minutes prior to the attack, live streaming the event. And you tell me these people can just get away with that? This is an open season on blacks again in this country. Because another thing, how the cops not lay a glove on this guy, right? We got Jacob Blake Sr. out here. His son got shot in the back 7 times by police officers for walking away. And they let this man kill people with a hot Bushmaster. The barrel's still hot for killing people. And they treating him like he got kid gloves on. So we know what it is, America. Everyone knows what has to happen. There could be no quarter for white supremacy in this country, period. You want to drag us back to the 1950s? We're not going without one hell of a fight. We will unite you and we will defeat you out here, period.
What does have to happen to make community safe again?
Well, you got to start from the top, right? You got to, first of all, we got to acknowledge that white supremacy is a sickness and it's a part of American tapestry. Why is the Ku Klux Klan not banned? You want to know why?
They got hit with a
Because some of them Klans members are in that police uniforms over there. I served with some of them as a soldier. I had white soldiers that refused to go to Barack Obama when he was given the Medal of Honor out because they said he was a Muslim and he wasn't an American citizen. Are you fucking kidding me, man? We all took the same oath to serve this country. Look where we at. It's a damn shame that I got treated better in Iraq and Afghanistan by our so-called enemies than I have in this country that we risked our life for. Still nigger in this country. Are you kidding me? They still got active sundown towns in America. We have to face white supremacy head on. Canada is saying that they predict America may fall to white wing extremists within the next 8 years, by 2030. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna silently let these fascists take over? Look at the people who attacked us January 6th. We haven't been attacked that bad since the War of 1812. They let the Powerpuff Boys and the Oath Breakers operate on U.S. soil for a year before they arrested them. After attacking the Capitol in 4K, running around with cameras taking selfies and shit, with that treasonous battle flag of our enemies, of the Confederacy, let that go into the rotunda, they kicked me off the 3rd step of the Supreme Court. Said a police officer broke off and said, you can't be here with that flag. Right? Like my service to the country is not enough. But you can let white supremacists march in the monuments 3 hours later and give them a police escort? We know what the real problem is in America. It's white supremacy. And we gotta face it down, period. If I didn't bend the knee over there to Al-Qaeda and ISIS, I'm damn sure not gonna bend the knee to white supremacists there in my own country that I fought for. Right? I joined the army after the LA riots. I knew America wasn't shit then, right? But being in the combat zone was safer than my own neighborhood.
How does being a veteran sort of inform what's going on now?
Well, you see it, right? One thing I realized, the higher I rose up in the ranks, you see the corruption. I could have told you Afghanistan would have fell in 2013. I spent $2.4 billion over there, and I can't tell you the good the money did. We gave money to openly corrupt people, openly corrupt. Turned a blind eye to it. They was paying up the Taliban then. Everyone knew what's going on. They were stealing soldiers from their own, stealing fuel from their own soldiers. Open corruption. No one should be surprised what happened over there. You think it can't happen in America? You think American democracy can't fall? When you put idiots who have no business being in power, what the hell is Marjorie Taylor Greene doing in Congress? Are you kidding me, man? What the hell is she doing in Congress, man? And you wonder why our democracy's in peril. You wonder why they're trying to overturn women's rights and drag us back. They want white women pregnant and pumping out kids because of the whole replacement theory that you hear about on Fox fake ass news every night. What? I tell you what Joe Biden can do. He could ban Fox News tomorrow. He could ban it from every military installation. He has that power as a commander-in-chief. Why the hell are you not doing it? Why do we keep compromising with these terrorists? This was an open attack. Open attack on us. In a damn near food desert. In a community that's clearly been redlined. You see the late stage effects of capitalism in this country. They want to cry about the border. Let them all become citizens. That's why I say you want to get these right-wingers out of power, let every last one of them become citizens. Anybody that's willing to fight against this fascism in power, give them their citizenship. Enough of this nonsense, man. They want Mexicans to come in here and do their dirty jobs and let them die out here to keep these billionaires happy. Come on, man.
What do you think of how the media has not been using the word terrorism?
Well, of course. Think about this. That police officer, that black police officer who gave his life, right? Why is Fox fake ass news not talking about that blue life that mattered, right? You say blue lives matter, but we know there's no such thing. They not talking about that man heroically faced down. He knew that was a death sentence. This kid had body armor, military upgrades, weapon illegally modified, and he got to face him with a handgun? It's a death sentence. And he still did his duty, even though it cost him his life. Why is Fox News silent about that? Because it wasn't about that. They don't give a damn about black people. Fox fake ass news is a white supremacist organization, period. They get a couple of sellout Negroes, man, like Clandis Owens and the rest of these clowns to push their narrative. But it's over with, guys. We're going to organize in this country, and we're going to give you what you want, period. We're not backing down, and we would never let this country fall to fascism without one hell of a fight. You can believe that. My name is Rig Madden, last name. No, I'm from Northern Virginia. I'm originally from West California, but when I retired, I stayed in Northern Virginia. Because of the gun laws in Northern Virginia. Because that's one thing that has kept me safe. I don't dial 911. I keep 7.62 ready. Because these fascists, you got to meet firepower with firepower. Period. What do you think is going to happen, guys, when it all goes to hell? Do you think America won't fall? There are people far more intelligent than me warning everybody. The warning signs are everywhere. The warning, our neighbors to the north is predicting when America will fall. That's a question for the intelligence community. If you're talking about Afghanistan and everything that's happening in Ukraine, how long before America falls? How long? How long do you think we have if you let the worst president in American history, Donald Trump, a fucking fascist, get back in power? After everything, we know that man guilty of sin. Unparalleled corruption. In your face, but they did not care. You got people, even in Virginia right now, that's in power that was there January 6th. These treasonous cowards are gaining power in the country. What do you think they're gonna do in 2024? So I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna vote straight blue to save our democracy, and then when things get darker, I'm gonna fight head on. And we're gonna train other people to do the same. Period.
Do you think the Democrats are doing enough as well?
No, they're not. You gotta hold them accountable as well. Because what are you gonna do? You sit back and say, well, Joe Manchin is blocking us.
The people are,
get rid of him.
I understand your
Get rid of him, man.
Because the people are
why the hell are you there if you got a yacht? Can you tell me why this man is still in power? West Virginia is a big ass truck stop. The average median income is $26,000. His upkeep on his yacht is 3 times that amount, $100,000 a year for upkeep of his yacht. Why is that man in power? Why is he in power? Because there's no difference between a Republican and a moderate Democrat. There's no difference. The Republican Party died with John McCain, by the way. Now it's just a MAGA fascist cult that wants to turn America into a Christian theocracy. Period. The Constitution gives you the right to say, you know what? We want a separation. Build that wall between church and state. Quit worrying about the southern border and build a wall between the church and state. No thank you to white Jesus. Not everyone has to be an evangelical Christian, because if you think that Trump's a Christian, you know shit about Christianity anyway. Out here like a cult, man. They're gonna suffer the same fate as Jim Jones and David Koresh. That's what happened to cult members. You take it to the grave. But now we giving cult members power. Are you kidding me? It seems like the more radical they are, they put them in power. And you think our democracy is gonna stand? Come on. So we go do our part. That's why I'm here. If a terrorist can drive 300 miles to attack our people, I can drive 500 miles and stand in solidarity and let them know we're not backing down. We go teach these people how to defend themselves. They can't, depend on these police out here. We're gonna show them how to defend themselves. We're gonna show them how to use their Second Amendment rights, and we're gonna show them how to organize. And we're gonna bring people when the cameras leave. We're gonna bring people to help these people. Because we have to unite. Just like his manifesto reads like a white supremacist call to action. And we need a response. We need a response. Everybody out here knows what has to happen. I've talked to Vietnam vets that's still dealing with the same thing that I'm dealing with. White supremacy is the #1 threat to this country. Not just for black people, but for everybody. Fascism put everybody at risk.
Okay.
Thank you.
The terrorist that did this. First of all, we need to start referring to him as a terrorist.
Yeah, because that's what he is.
That's what he is.
He's a terrorist. We gotta call him
That's
like
right.
that.
The
Yeah.
terrorist that did this, #1, this is not a lone wolf. This is not an isolated event. All right, this is another symptom of the disease of white supremacy that plagues this country.
Yeah.
Okay, and he didn't probably learn at home. He learned at home. The message that we hear that he was indoctrinated online, listen, my children will never be indoctrinated online because those seeds will not fall on fertile ground.
My God.
You understand? Seeds don't grow in the sand. So if he didn't already have a fertile mind to receive that hate, if he didn't already have a ferttle mind to be indoctrinated, then he never would have had it. So when he showed up here, as a terrorist to murder people in the name of hate, in the name of racial hate, this is just another white mass murderer in history. It's not an isolated. There's no mental illness. Let's stop this insane idea that he's a lone wolf with a mental illness. He left a very detailed, very well written, very well thought out manifesto online that explained exactly how he did what he did. So what this was is yet another brick in the wall of white supremacy. Yeah. So until we start doing 3 things in this country: acknowledging the white supremacy is woven into everything that this country does, until we start educating our children. White people, it's not enough not to teach your children to not be racist. That's the bare minimum. You got to teach your children to be anti-racist. They can't be indoctrinated if the ground's not fertile. And then #3, we got to start getting this romantic fiction novel that we call history books in school out and start educating ourselves on the real history of what is the country, so that we can finally learn who's been wrong, how it's been wrong, and how we can come together as a community. As I said, education beats everything and love tops all.
Until black people understand.
That's Jacob Blake. God bless you, bro. I'm Apostle Joshua. I'm doing the Growth Initiative Development Program. Thank you for coming to our city.
No, I love
God
you,
bless you so much for coming.
I'm here for this
and
community.
for those that are watching, what's your name again, brother?
Jolly.
Jolly. And you?
Cortez Rice.
I'm Apostle Joshua, running the Growth Initiative Development Program in our city of Buffalo.
And that's Jacob Blake Sr.
Yes, carry on, brother.
What we have to understand is that our black young people have to understand there was a history before slavery.
Say it again.
There was a history of black people before slavery. But if you're taught, that indoctrinated in your head, that Bill and Jill that threw the ball that we learned how to read, and they all saw were white people, well, you have to go back and create a narrative that includes us. Because when you're not including us, you're feathering the fire of supremacy, all right? And another thing that this community has to understand is we refuse to let fear control the way we think.
That's it.
It was a fear tactic. by this terrorist that walked up in the store.
We're gonna call him terrorist.
And he's a terrorist.
Yeah.
He's not a troubled youth.
That's right.
It's not a mental youth.
He's not a mentally disturbed individual.
My God, right?
You understand?
Bingo.
But we're here for this community, all right? We're here for the families.
That's right.
Yeah.
That were affected, and that the families get what they need. Now, let's talk about the community.
Come on.
This has created a food desert.
Say it
Yes,
again.
yes.
All right? We have enough billionaires in this state
That's right.
that are brown to set up another grocery store,
That's right.
a community center. We have enough
about it. Talk
to
about
do what we need to do.
Yes.
We ain't asking you for a handout.
That's right.
We're demanding that you respect what we decide to do.
That's right.
I don't need you to tell me what I should say. I don't need that. What we need is an understanding. I'm not just an angry black man, I'm an angry father that has been affected
By violence.
by violence.
What you said that what the leaders, what they need to do in circumstances like this? They have a great role to play. Because they are coming
okay,
out.
First of all, you need your real leaders in your community to stand up.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Real leaders in this community need to stand up.
Yes.
Okay.
I came from 900 miles away.
From another city?
From another city.
What was the city you come from?
I came from Chicago.
Chicago, okay.
We flew in.
Thank you so much, we appreciate you.
But I'm here because the families need us.
Yeah.
Because we need each other.
That way.
You understand? Without each other, we can do nothing. We can't accomplish anything.
Say that.
Unity is the key. Why do you think they separated us in slavery? They had house Negroes and field Negroes and breed Negroes. Because it separated us. How long are we going to eat the scraps that they throw in the back of that house? We've been eating hog maws and pig ass for the longest. When are we going to wake up and understand that white people cannot control the narrative?
Say it again.
We need to control the narrative.
What do you
and
mean?
fear
What do you
is
mean by
not
we?
going
What
to
do you mean by
control
we?
us.
Can I ask you this? When we're talking about we on this program, don't you think that we all, black, whites,
It takes all of us.
All of us too.
But I don't need to be told how I'm supposed to react. And I have been told.
I understand that.
I have been told
You went
by
through
the
the
powers
process.
that be
Yeah.
that I am too outspoken.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to stop speaking because I was affected.
You're affected.
And the families that we are here representing have been affected.
You know what it
This
meant?
community has been affected.
Once more, we want to say thank you to all of you.
I love this community, and Families United stands here to do anything that we can do for this community.
Amen.
Amen.
I don't care what time of day, what time of night it is, our lines stay open. Please, please call us. I'm not here. I didn't even come over here for these cameras. I came over here because you all were standing
They
here.
told me about you.
give
I
a
was
damn
looking for you.
I don't care about the cameras, y'all.
Yeah.
All right?
About the community.
Because they're going to chop up whatever you say and use what they want.
Yeah.
I'm going to say what I want and do what I want. That's what this community has to do. And only strength will get us through.
Together.
Together, our strength makes us unbreakable.
Yeah. Yeah. Together.
Yes.
Unbreakable, man. We cannot let fear dictate the way we
That's
think.
it.
Say it again.
Thank
And
you,
I
brother.
love you, brother.
Also, come on, brother. Come on. Let's close on this good note. Once more, we want to thank you all for joining us on this Growth Initiative Development Program. This is a program that talks about Kingdom Expansion, community building, nation development. You have heard, these brothers come from thus far to sympathize, empathize with us. We want to say we appreciate you all, wherever you come from. I came to America 22 years ago. I know what God has done for me in this nation. This is the city of love. We cannot allow hatred to divide us. We cannot. I went through the process of war in Sierra Leone for many years. Some of you watched the Blood Diamond. You know what destruction can do in a city. When I see this, it reminds me back what happened in my nation, Sierra Leone, whereby young people, hands been cut off. If I come here, that is why I'm passionate about community development. We run an organization that calls Sierra Leone Cultural Alliance that help education, edify and educate our children that come from thus far. It is important that when we united, because united we stand, and divided we fall. We cannot allow fear to break us apart. Unity, love, make us stronger. Regardless of the color of your skin, we are all one family. When we acknowledge that, we'll be able to defeat that racism.
We have to understand.
God bless you, everyone. Yes, carry on. You got the last say. Anybody? Thank you so much. You want to say the last say?
Everybody repeat after me. This is the Sada Shakur chant.
Yeah.
That's right.
Head up, eyes open, fists closed.
That's right.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to live.
We have a duty to live.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to win.
We have a duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Say it louder one more time. We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to win.
We have a duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
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 All power to the people.
All power to the people.
Thank you, everyone. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. God bless you. God bless.
Hey, this is definitely what community looks like right here. though. This is definitely what community looks like, and we need to continue to do this nationwide, worldwide, on a day-to-day basis. This is beautiful right here.
Oh, let me.
Hello, my name is Gina Davis. I'm born and raised native of Buffalo, New York. This is my community. I'm a block club president, and I've been doing things in this community for over a decade. I love my community. I'm out here to support my community. And I just pray that after this is over with, that we still stay together. Don't just be here for this moment. 6 months later, contact the families. A year later, contact the families. See how the grandchildren are doing. These people lost their grandparents. I mean, it was really hard for me to come down here. And I just hope that we stay together. Stay together, work together. Don't just talk about it for this moment. Let's keep this going forever.
It's Jolly
And beat racism. We gotta override the hate with the love. We have to.
What's that? What do you think it will take? No.
Oh, that's okay.
My last name is Ellis.
What do you think it will take to solve this?
Like I say, everybody knows me as Jolly.
You know what I think it'll take? Education. We have to start in our homes. It's not going to, the politicians, we are the people with the power. We put them in position. So when you point one finger at the politician, you got 3 pointing back at yourself. Search yourself. Search your circle. Who are you around? Is anybody dealing with racism? Are you addressing it? Or are you sitting at the table being quiet because when you're silent, you're still agreeing? So are you speaking up about it? And not being confrontational, but are you speaking up about it, saying, listen, can't we look at this another way? You got to look within your heart. And that's what everybody is not doing. When you got hate like this, it definitely comes from the home. There is no way an 18-year-old, 18? I have a grandson that's 18. There's no way an 18-year-old is going to do something like this. And I didn't even want to see the video. But to literally take that daggone gun and shoot somebody in the head, it was like something on a video game. How do you do something like that? And then, for some people, grown adults to crack jokes about it on social media. It's still hate going on with all this. It's still hate going on. You gotta search your heart. Because the last answer you're gonna answer to And that'll be a day you can't run from. That'll be the day that your boys and your whoever else that you got with you is not going to be there to back you. Because nobody's going to protect you when you go and answer to God.
What would you like to see from elected officials from the city or from higher in the state?
What I would like to see, the laws that needs to be changed, I'm not even looking at the gun laws. It's the laws that's suppressing the African American communities. We have to address that. Now, I mentioned about this site. We have one grocery store in our community. We have a lot of dilapidated buildings, open lots. Let's utilize them. Community, let's just pull together and let's utilize them and give our people more options than one option. And that's all I ask for every elected politician all the way up to the president. He came here. You send the money to Ukraine and look what we got. This is our grocery store. So this, where we gonna shop now? We got the food coming now. How long is this gonna last? What happens to all our neighbors over here? What happened to them? What happened to the ones that don't have vehicles? What happened to the elderly? What happened to the handicapped, disabled? What happens to them? It's not about these people wanting to get these votes out and they're complaining about the politicians, and we all have a job to do. It's not just the politicians. We all have a job. And when you sit and say nothing, you're part of the problem. We all got to be part of the solution. Every color, every nationality, be a part of the solution and not the problem. We got no problems. We need hands to come together like this and the hearts to come together. Let's work together. We see what's going on. We know what the needs are. And when you come out of your four walls, when you come out of your own circle, when you come in the community, you'll see the needs and you'll hear about the needs. And when you say, oh, that's terrible, oh my God. Or will you say, you know what? How can we get together and help? How can we change? And mean it. Don't just give your card out. And you got a lot of people that's coming, oh, I pray, they're putting the flowers down. So what else are you gonna do? Don't come here just for the show and the cameras and say, oh, you know, everybody's gonna cry right now. But are you gonna cry 6 months later? Are you gonna cry a year later? 10 years later? Are you still gonna say, let me make sure that the African American community is the same as our counterparts. Let's make sure they're being taken care of economically and developing more opportunities for our youth. It's a lot more that needs to be done. And I'm not even gonna put it all on the politicians because it starts with us. It starts right from where you at. It don't start with them. We put them in position. We got the power. They don't have the power. We got the power. And we got to understand that and utilize it and stick with one another and do it. And we can make a change. It's not too late. It's sad that this happened, but it's not too late. But we have to search our hearts. No hidden agendas. Let's come to the table and let's make some changes. And it can happen. And I pray that it do. And I will have a part of it. Thank you so much. Now, where are you guys from?
I'm from
that they live in, and we just wanted to pay our respect. I knew one of the ladies, Ms. Pearl Young. She was a respite foster care parent, and I worked with her briefly when I worked in foster care. So I just wanted to pay my respect, you know, and just to be a part of the community.
Tell me a little bit more about Miss Young. I've heard some really great things. I've heard her called Mother Young, and she was so involved in her church. Tell me more about her.
I speak from what I know. I didn't know her for long because I worked in foster care for about 3 months, and she was a respite site for kids on the weekends who didn't have anywhere to go, and she would always have a bed in her room dedicated, a room just for anybody that's available. I remember I had to take her to Rochester because she didn't like to drive. She had a car and everything, but she'd rather not drive, so I drove her to Rochester for a training for the respite, and she just talked all day about any and everything. She was knitting and she was talking, and every time you go to her home, She always had cookies or in some type of soup to offer to you. You never leave the house without something with Mrs. Pearl Young. She was an amazing human being, really, really amazing. So.
And you took about 5 minutes or so just to stand here and just to think and reflect. What were you thinking about? What were you telling maybe your children just to think about?
I was pointing out the names, and I was telling them that, you know, life is short. And before we came out here, I actually had the conversation. The main reason I come here is to show you that life is unexpected and is short, and we should appreciate every moment and show up when we can. While I was standing there, I was trying to feel whatever was coming to me, and what was coming to me was just pure sadness. And at the same time, gratefulness to be here, to be a part of it. So.
And you know, as we kind of, 1 week since the tragedy happened, there's still food being passed out here. There's still people here who are helping. Eventually, this won't be this way anymore, and we will return to maybe a new normal. What is your hope for that new normal?
My hope, and that's a great point. My hope for the new normal is that the people of this community still have access to resources. There are so many resources that come out here because of such an unfortunate, tragic, despicable event. Why can't we always have that resources? I don't live in this community, but when I was volunteering, I saw the need, and really that alone brought sadness to my heart. Like, why are these people neglected? Why are we being neglected all the time? So now we know we can do it because we've done it for the past week. Let's continue to do that. Let Tops not be the only grocery store on this corner. Let there be more resources for the people to access. So that's what I hope to come from it. And I know usually when there's tragedy, everybody comes together, and I just hope we continue to come together and not just be for 1 or 2 weeks.
Did I miss anything? Anything you wanted to add in?
I just love Buffalo, and I know we're strong, and we'll get through this. So that's it. Go Buffalo.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I love her bow. It is amazing.
She came from soccer looking like this. Both of them.
Good.
That's how they dress.
I've played soccer my whole life, so
I wanted to tell you. I know you work my brother's shift here.
Yeah.
Tell me what brings you out here today.
You know, this thing rocked the country, rocked the entire state. When it happened, I went home to my black family. You just start thinking about, they just went shopping and they happen to be black. That's a tough combination of things. You have the racism, the white nationalism combined with the access to guns. Violence is unfortunately something this community and black communities in general have been dealing with for a long time, and those are issues that I've been working on. And so I just wanted to be present, just see what I can do to help, try to bring some additional loving energy and help, and see what we can do to not just talk about this now and make sure there's justice, but there's so many things we could have been doing to prevent this from happening in the first place. And that's what infuriates me even more.
And what is that? What can we...
Well, you know, it was interesting. I heard the governor speak on how she lives 10 minutes away. And this community is a food desert, a transportation desert. They need this help. And I was so angry because this community has been a food desert. It's been a transportation desert. You didn't know that before? You know, we asked in our campaign to put $1 billion in the budget right now for gun violence prevention, youth services, victim services. We asked for food in the, we asked, that's my brother over here. We asked for money to be put in to deal with things like hate crimes. That wasn't. But what was in the budget was $1 billion for a billionaire stadium that's not even being built inside of the city that's having the most problems. So we know what works. We've seen what works in other places. We just don't have the leadership that's provided the resources that are needed.
And what could elected officials, what could government be doing to address white supremacy, domestic terrorism?
You know what, 10 years ago I put out my first report on gun violence and how to help prevention of it. Political note, that's the year the governor was endorsed by the NRA. But a few months ago in January I put out what I believe is my third report on gun violence prevention. And in that we actually talked about the red flag, quote unquote, red flag law, and that it wasn't properly being enforced, or we have to do more to enforce it. And just think about months later, now it's being lifted up. The micro-stamping that's being talked about now, we talked about 10 years ago. So there's things that we have to do to stop marrying white nationalism with access to guns, but we also have to put funding in to deal with the hate crime issue, to fund community groups that have the ability to deal with hate crime issues. And of course, we have to stop the proliferation of hate crime on social media. That's where one place where folks are correct. We got to stop that from being pushed forward. But again, we have to have leaders that are going to do that work when the camera's on here.
Absolutely. And what do you think is the driving force for racism and hatred?
I mean, this country has been, racism has been part of this country since its inception. So many people say that's not part of America. It really is, like apple pie, but also part of America is people who have pushed back against it. And that's a part of America that I want to be a part of. Unfortunately, a few years ago, we had a president that fueled the worst things that we've seen in humanity. And it takes time to unpack that. We're still feeling with so much of the resilience of that. Things that were latent, that were always there, are now just up in front. And it's getting real bad. And I think folks think a lot of that is in the history books, but it really isn't. And we tell folks, if you look at what happened in Germany, what happened even in Rwanda, what happened in places before the bubbling up, this is what it is.
Do you have any questions?
All right, thank you so much. I'm running for governor.
What do you hope to change the state?
Well, I'm an elected official now in New York City. And in our run for governor, we have already put out plans on how to deal with gun violence, how to deal with crime, how to deal with so many of these issues. Unfortunately, this governor has never dealt with them. I've been dealing with it for the past 10 years. I'm proud that in New York City, we helped guide a conversation in 2018, 2019, got us to the safest we'd ever been. And that's the numbers that people are now looking at. And what we see when we, from Brooklyn to Buffalo to Syracuse to Rochester, communities that have their own unique culture, but are dealing with similar things. And you need a governor that understands that, has been on the ground dealing with those issues, and will get the resources where they need them. All right? Peace. Thank you, man. Appreciate you very much. Well, one last thing is, what frustrates me is when I hear leaders saying that we have to return to normal. Normal didn't work for most folks in New York City. It didn't work for people in Buffalo. We can't return to normal. We have to normalize people's lives, but we have to get better than where we were, a better normal.